Hi everyone, welcome back. So we're gonna do things a little differently. So instead of me just posting the best ending, I'm just gonna kind of record the last little bit up into it. Just because for the good ending, if you haven't already watched that, Lance and Klaude fight each other in a chess duel. Now for the best ending, they have sword fights. So I'm gonna kind of just start from the sword fight, and then we're just gonna go into the end. It's gonna be a little longer, but it shows you the rest of the story that you would have otherwise missed. But yeah. Eventually the two of us reach our destination. Garland stands in the usual forest clearing where we have all of our practices. Seated behind him on a tree stump is Lance. The two of them are engaged in conversation when we arrive. Why don't you just ask her now, Sir Garland? Garland sighs, looking downtrodden. He should ask her, god damn it. Because Jerry and I have been preoccupied with the security plans for Princess Lucette and Prince Claude's wedding. But asking her a simple question wouldn't interfere with your plans any, would it? I want my proposal to be special. Oh, are we discussing the marriage proposal that has yet to happen? Lance and Garland both look up when we enter the forest. Claude passes them by to set whatever things we had been carrying down by the forest trees. You're late. My apologies. Lucette and I were at the margin discussing an important proposal with two witches. Now, he turns to regard Lance somberly. Are you prepared, Lance? Of course. Garland takes his place between both men, handing them their practice swords as he relays the rules of the match. I settle myself on a nearby tree stump and absently move to pick up the remaining practice sword. It has been a long time since I used a practice sword, almost a whole year. I cannot help but recall my first practice session with Claude when I hold the sword in his hand. I am jolted by my reverie by the sound of clashing blades. I glance up just in time to see Claude effortlessly slide his sword past Lance. He then dodges gracefully as Lance takes a quick stab at his side. It's not difficult for me to see this gap in skill. It becomes more and more apparent that Claude is not even trying, while Lance seems to be exerting too much effort with every motion. The longer the match goes without a single hit, the more certain I become that Claude is just toying with his brother. He has had many chances to land a hit on Lance, but never does. Much to my surprise, even Lance seems to realize this. I hope you're not holding back because you feel pity for me. His words are filled with contempt. Claude's only response is a smug smile. Lance rushes Claude again, but the attempt is clumsy. He nearly stumbles past him and right into a tree. Claude takes a few steps back and is still smiling. Why is that idiot smile plastered to your face? Oh my, you seem out of sorts, Mama, says the man who had just instigated this mess in the first place. Lance rushes at him again. This time Claude holds out his sword to block him. The blades collide and both men glance. Claude moves his sword first, fainting in a circle and then backstepping until he's behind his brother. He lands a hit on Lance's shoulder. 1. Lance turns on him so suddenly that Claude cannot step back in time. He hits Claude square in the chest, causing him to stumble back. The anger in Lance's face is palpable enough to make his cheeks flush. Much to my surprise, Claude just laughs. Typical Llama. The fight continues after that. This time, Claude does not falter when he gets an opening. He's able to tap Lance a few more times on the shoulder without suffering any more hits from him. Garland calls him out to the end of the match. Claude lands his last hit, but much to everyone's surprise, Lance does not relent. He comes at his brother. I'm sorry, my dog's in the background playing, so if you hear that, I apologize. My bad. He comes at his brother again, and Claude is only able to hold his sword up in time because of the distance between them. What's this? The match is over, Lance. Or would you like to do 3 more points? I assure you that in the end, I will win in the end regardless. This time I'll do it without even trying. It'll be less painful for you this way. Sorry, I need to pull my sheet. Lance's face flushes a vivid, angry crimson. Stop doing that. Claude gaunts as he throws his brother's sword off of him. He takes a step back but does not respond, looking down on me and gloating. You wear that smug smile on your face, but but get angry at me when I'm struggling. To make matters worse, you refuse to help me, but still call me weak when I try to do things on my own. You are an insufferable walking contradiction, brother. Before any of us can react, Lance is already charging at Claude again, sword raised. I move completely on instinct, holding out my hand to cast a spell just as Lance's sword cuts through the air. Lance's arms freeze in place moments before his blade connects with Carmen's flesh. I want to call Carmen there. His arm, now encased in a thin sheen of ice, are motionless. I stand from my spot on the ground. The match is over, Lance. The moment I release the spell, the blade falls from Lance's hands and lands with a thump on the ground. Without the sword, Lance suddenly looks scared. He takes a step back, his expression a mixture of guilt and sadness. I apologize. He is silent for some time after that. Both Garland and Klaude stare at him on edge. They only relax once Lance sighs and out and holds up his hands. I can see you and Klaude. He turns on his heels and begins to walk away without another word. Klaude and Garland both watch him go quietly, not saying anything until he's out of the area. What was that? Llama's true feelings. He has a habit of not showing them until he's angry. This has always been how I gotten him to speak to with me. Before, I was the same way. I held my secrets close until I had them provoked out of me. Klaude looks at his brothers, disappearing back a little sadly. I like to think I've changed since then, but Lance, he shrugs his shoulders. Should we go after him? Is that wise? Most likely not. Usually when Lance walks off like this, he needs time by himself to reflect. And what happens when you follow him? He thinks I'm trying to antagonize him. I stare after Lance's retreating figure with reluctance. I told Klaude yesterday that sharing one's emotion was the first step to solving one's problems. I can't just leave Lance alone like this. Be that as it may, I'm still worried about him. Maybe he'll speak to me. I'll go after him, and when you're ready to talk to him, you can come find us. Fine, I'll help Garland pack everything and then follow him. Klaude sits and glanced back at me once. Oh, and darling, thank you for stepping in. I might have suffered over your shoulder had you not. He and Garland began to pack up, and I see that as we started to chase after Lance. Alright, so this is the part where, okay. After questioning some of the nearby servants, I am able to pinpoint Lance's location at the palace gates. I make my way there and find him standing close to the gates with his gaze upturned. He is staring at the sky vacantly. He looks up when I approach, his eyes glittering with guilt. He quickly turns away. Hello, Lance. He responds with a small, sheepish smile. I apologize for my behavior. It was not very dignified, was it? I believe that Klaude only antagonized Lance so he would tell him how he truly felt, but I also question whether or not he knows how to handle these matters. Scold. No, it was not. You ought to have said something to Klaude before it came to this. Lance furrows his eyebrows at me. This has always been how Klaude and I solve our problems. By driving each other off to the pinnacle of a fight? He deflates with a soundless sigh. Not very sensible, is it? No, not at all. It seems to me it would have been a lot easier to tell someone how you feel before letting it get to that point. Otherwise, your public aggression mars other people's opinions of you. You're refreshingly honest, Princess. I hope you plan on scolding Klaude for this as well. Scold him for what, exactly? For being ungentlemanly and petty. Petty? Anyway, I think it'd be helpful to have a better way to vent your aggression. That goes for Klaude, too. Lance looks about ready to say something, but then I notice him looking past my shoulder. He quickly diverts his eyes. What's this? I could have sworn a conversation was happening here, but now all I hear are crickets. What did you come here for? To scold me? Yes, I was gonna scold you as any older brother ought to, but it seems my lovely fiancé has already done so for me. You were eavesdropping? Of course not, I just happen to have very good ears. What a dick. I love him though. Klaude. Daddy. Since Lucette has already spoken with you, I came here not to talk, but to apologize. You apologize to me? You make me sound like a heartless creep, Lance. And after all the trouble I went through to bring you an apology gift, he holds up a small bag that he'd been holding at his side to Lance. I recognize it immediately, and I'm not surprised when Lance takes a small cupcake out of it. This is a cupcake. It has cherry filling, you know. Lance stares at the cupcake owlishly. For a few moments, I think he might return it to the bag, but then he pulls it up and takes a hefty bite out of it, smiling. Cherries are God's gift to humanity. Klaude's lips twitch into a mischievous smile. He glances back at me and winks. You see, darling, I told him my brother is weak to cherry. I am not. Lance stuffs the half-eaten cupcake into the bag, cheeks flushed. He clears his throat. Wait, why did you buy me a cupcake at all? It's a peace offering. Lance considers the cupcake for a few moments looking thoughtful. Well then, maybe you're not heartless, but you certainly can act like it sometimes with how condescending and demeaning you are. Yeah, and for that I apologize. Such is a manifestation of my jealousy. Jealousy? You're jealous of me? For a few moments, Lance looks surprised, but then he sighs. Why would you be jealous of me? Sometimes, Llama, you can be extremely obtuse. Do I really need to explain it to you? You call me perfect, but have you ever stopped to look at the people around you? They adore you. I don't understand. You're living a fairy tale, Klaude, and meanwhile, I'm still living in your shadows. Without you in Brigantia, I'm set for nothing but failure. Klaude frowns at his brother. Maybe I should retract my apology. This is pitiful. Lance's eyes flash with anger. You're always like this. I'm honest with you and you chastise me for it. Because the Lance I know is competitive and fierce and doesn't back away from challenge. He's polite to others, but not so feeble he admits defeat to his own brother. When Lance finally does speak, his voice is soft. I could never do what you've done, Karma. What? Moving to Angel, picking up a mantle that hadn't been handed to me? Lance smiles a little sadly. After all, it's only taking you moving out of Brigantia to unravel my confidence. How do I improve if I don't have you there to challenge me? How do I know how to act if I don't have you there to be my role model? So in the end, the whole situation is a result of Lance comparing himself to Klaude and Klaude comparing himself to Lance. What a foolish brother I have. What? You have the opportunity to stand toe-to-toe with me now. Before, when I had the Brigantian title, you always spoke about how incompetent a king I would be. You always said that you could do better. Now, you have the chance to prove that to my fiancé and me. Lance glances between the two of us silently. His expression of shock is so childish I cannot help but smile. The new alliance between Angel and Brigantia brings our two countries closer than they have ever been before. We'll both be counting on you to help us mend the gap once you take the throne. And when you do, I don't expect you to act like me. I expect you to act like yourself. I recall the way Lance acted during his speech practices. He told me that he was terrible in front of crowds, but Klaude has said before that the two of them took speaking lessons together. Now I can see why he was so frustrated at Lance for the way he was practicing. It was because he was trying to be someone he was not, and Lance was caving beneath that pressure. Lance turns to look at me. Princess Lucette? I remember a time when Emelaigne was stressed because she was trying to act like other nobles. I remember a time when the whole world and Mother and I wanted so much to just be like her. So much that I did not see the world around me, so much that I did not even learn to form my own opinions until I stepped out of her shadow. There are certain responsibilities every king has as people, but your word and action should be yours and yours alone. Klaude smiles at me. You always know how to put things so aptly, darling. He turns back to his brother. But yes, all I want you to realize is that we are on equal footing. I know how heavy the responsibilities of a king can be, but those responsibilities ought to be faced with the way you want to face them. That is what living in Angel has taught me. Even if those around me have differing opinions, I could never sacrifice my own values and beliefs. He glances at me. Though our lovely princess here has strong opinions, we work things out together. That is what it means to be both separate and equal to someone. Lance looks at both of us thoughtfully for a few moments. His silence seems to put Klaude on edge because he looks like he's on the verge of scolding his brother again. Then suddenly Lance laughs. I'm happy you fell in love with my brother, Lucette. I feel like the only reason he's matured is because of you. Klaude may sometimes be flamboyant and childish, but I feel that without him, I wouldn't have learned to be so mature either. And without him, I would have never learned this kind of happiness, this kind of love. I guess now that he's gone, I get to prove myself. He looks at Klaude, the competitive glint back in his eyes. This time, I will not falter. Ah, those words are music to my ears, Llama. Could you maybe not call me that? Llama isn't very sophisticated. No, It isn't, and that's why I enjoy using it so much. Don't worry, Lance. Klaude still refers to himself as Chameleon Prince, and that is definitely not sophisticated at all. Klaude blushes. Oh my gosh. When his brother laughs, it's just like that. The tension between them evaporates. The days pass in a blur. Though things should be less busy considering the circumstances, my schedule only gets tighter with the wedding so close. Klaude and I have far too many rehearsals, and my family continues to ask for my opinions about the feast that will occur afterwards. The days are more exhausting than they have been in weeks. It's the night before the wedding ceremony, and I finally have some time to myself, or at least so I think. Yet when I step in through the door, the room is not vacant. Klaude sits at the piano, playing some soft, melancholy tune. At first, he does not seem to notice me, and I contemplate whether or not I want to surprise him. Yet, before I can think to do anything, he suddenly stops playing to look at me. Ah, Lucette, my beautiful wife. That looks impact, doesn't it? I think I'd prefer my beautiful queen. What do you think? Queen. The weight of that word is only made lighter when I consider the fact that Klaude will be sitting right beside me, but even then the thought is strange. It is hard to imagine myself sitting on my father's throne. I reach for the two plush toys in my bed, the Beauty and the Beast. Klaude leans against the piano with a smile. For a few moments, a soft quiet descends. May I ask you a question, darling? I look up at him curious. I nod my head. 2 years ago when you came to me for advice on how to be good, do you remember what I first said to you? That was 2 years ago in the tavern when I was still trying to understand what goodness meant. The first piece of advice that Klaude gave pertained to beauty. Wasn't it something about being beautiful both on the inside and out? You remember? It's impossible not to. You put painstaking effort into your appearance. Always. I did. You still do. Klaude grins. Of course, but back then it was a beauty that was meant to hide the truth rather than express it. Miss Karma is my favorite disguise, you know. You make it sound like you've had more than one. Who's to say I didn't? I did like sneaking out of the palace and avoiding my responsibilities. He pauses for a few moments contemplating, then softly he sighs. There's a time when I valued beauty above all other things, even when a witch decided to make my so-called beauty a curse. He points at the beast plush that I have in my hands. I never liked the Beauty and the Beast fairy tale growing up. I always thought that the witch was being too cruel to the prince, dooming him to an empty life if he didn't learn a hard lesson. When a witch set a similar curse upon me, I despised her. I wanted to prove that I could break her spell without changing. I never realized how much I needed to change until his eyes fell on me. Until you came along. Had I not met you, Lucette, I might still have been the same cursed man. Maybe I would have been a little wiser, but I would still be the spoiled crown prince of Brigantia. And now? He comes to sit beside me with a smile. The crown prince of Angiel and future husband to the loveliest lady in this realm. The most beautiful on the inside and out. He takes the beast plush from my hand and holds it up. So you see, just like the prince in the fairy tale, I only found my true calling when I met you, princess. And I wanted to thank you for that. I lean my head on his shoulders with a smile. You don't need to thank me, Klaude. Is that it? No heartwarming response, love? I laugh as I nuzzle my head to the crook of his neck. I am saving that for my wedding vow tomorrow. You'll have to wait patiently until then. I suppose I don't have a choice in the matter, do I? He kisses the top of my head. A gentle silence falls over us after that, but it is comfortable and calming. I'm content to wrap my arms around Klaude's waist and settle my head on his shoulder. Thank you, Klaude. May it be granted that what is done before the gods cannot be undone by man. Before I proclaim you both joined by marriage, thou must seal this pact with a kiss. I heard this word so many times before, but here in front of these people, they seem to ring even louder. Still, I will not falter. The crown princess is always confident. I take a step forward to clasp Klaude's hands in mine, but before I can even place one foot for the other, he's already stepped so close our noses brush. It is all I can do to keep from gasping when he puts one hand on the back of my back and tips me backward. Klaude smiles at me mischievously. He's so close, I can feel his breath on my cheeks. A ripple of sound runs through the crowd, and I cannot tell whether it's laughter or chattering. This wasn't in the rehearsal. I whispered the words into his ears, and my cheeks flushed. The rehearsal was very boring. I think I had to leave for breaking some rules. I didn't have it in me to protest. Klaude always had a way of slouching. Yes, my worries. He is himself, no matter the circumstances. His confidence might sometimes be overbearing, but it's also inspiring. I'm only so bold because I have such a confident queen. You may now kiss the bride. Neither of us hears the minister. In fact, Klaude plants a kiss on my lips before he even finishes his sentence. The applause echoing around us, nothing but the background sound. All I can feel in those single heart-stopping moments are Claude's lips on mine and his gentle warmth all around me. I love you, anyway. Titles aside, his words make my heart swell with pride. I kiss him again on the cheek before placing my forehead to his. I love you too, Klaude. Alright, so now we're going to see the best ending. The Midnight Ball. Ooh. Kind of hoping that Lance and Emelaigne get together. If the invitation is correct, then this should be the place. Klaude and I pause in front of the doors to the throne room. Klaude is still holding the anonymous invitation that arrived at our door earlier. He pulls his gaze from the invitation up to the double doors. The sound behind the door is muted, but not inaudible. We would hear the chattering sound of the boisterous crowd even while we were still at the end of the hall. Darling, what is this? I wonder. Klaude raises an eyebrow at me as he tucks the envelope into one of his pockets and starts forward. He pushes the door to the throne room open without hesitation. Stepping into the throne room is like stepping into another, more richly decorated world. Elaborate tables filled with overwhelming displays of food and decorations stand beneath a dazzling array of sparkling chandeliers and vibrant lights. Klaude stares at everyone in wide-eyed awe. His being at a loss for words makes me smile. What? Cat got your tongue? What is all of this? It's nearly midnight. The minute he says the words, the clock chimes 12. Oh, shoot. I pressed the wrong one. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm messing everything up. I'm so sorry. There you go. The sound of the muted still chimes in the background beneath layers of live orchestra music. Of course it's midnight. It wouldn't be a midnight ball otherwise. That's what his mom used to throw. Klaude stares around him once again, his confusion giving way to a bright smile. A midnight ball. Did Lance tell you about them? He did, and I've been working with him and Emelaigne to create as accurate a tutorial as possible. Klaude directs his attention to the center of the room, where various rose decorations have been put on display. Performers, some of them witches, surround the perimeter of the room and perform for all in attendance. Lucette turns to me. I love it, darling. He leans down to kiss me softly on the lips, but only briefly before turning away with a strange look on his face. Was it Llama's suggestion to throw the celebration tonight? It was, but why does that matter? It's no wonder you put off moving in jail. He frowned at someone in the crowd. I follow his gaze to Lance, who is dancing at the center in the ballroom with Emelaigne. Both of them are too engaged with each other to even stare at Lance. Leave it up to Lance to ruin my plans in the best way possible. Your plans. Klaude frowns, disappears, and in a heartbeat a smile has returned to his face. He pulls me closer to him and kisses the top of my head. It's nothing, darling. For now, we celebrate. He leads me right into the middle of the crowd, and from then on, the atmosphere of the midnight party shifts. Even the nobles, who I do not usually speak with, are more open in front of Klaude, and the night becomes one filled with chatter and cheer. Everywhere we go, there are congratulations and handshakes. Before greeting so many people would have been overwhelming, but Klaude exudes so much confidence that it's impossible not to get wrapped up in the moment. Most everyone from the Margin is here tonight, along with guests both esteemed and foreign. I speak with many of my princes as I can that night, and on one occasion even chase after one of them when he makes no sign of having noticed me. Garland stops and whirls to face me, his face beat red. Is something wrong? Why is he so flushed? I saw him patrolling the outside area earlier, but he was pacing back and forth and looked restless. I glanced down his hand and noticed that one of them was closed into a fist. Oh no, why would you do it again? I'm sorry. Nothing to report, Your Highness. What is it that you're holding? Garland looks out at the sideboard, curling his fingers. I startle when I see a small, palm-sized watch between his hands. He quickly closes his fingers over the box and, oh my god, he's gonna propose! It's a ring, for Jurian. It takes me a few minutes to understand, but once I do, I cannot help the smile that pulls at my lips. I made certain that we both got the same breaks tonight, so so that I could, well, you know. If you proposed during a public shoot, punch you, wouldn't she? Absolutely, but even worse than that, I'd lose the words in the crowd. It still surprised me that Garland's confidence never wavers when he deals with the spell of nights, but anything related to jury and makes him blush. Glad Garland, certain she'll accept. I really hope so. You and Prince Klaude will be the first people to know the outcome, whatever the case. It's a good thing he didn't tell Claude he was going to propose. It would have been much harder to get him off this ball. Get him to this ball if he insisted on spying on them. Garland gives a polite bow before heading off, cheeks still flush. I'm sure that'll be fine. Yuri will definitely accept. Princess Lucette. Lance suddenly appears before me with a mischievous smile on his face. Emelaigne is standing beside him, laughing breathlessly. The coy smile takes me by surprise. What else do you have planned, Lance? Well, Princess, it's just Lucette now. Lance is technically my brother-in-law now. He ought to call me by my name without my title. When I told him that a few days ago, he apologized profusely and told me he was unaccustomed to calling me without my title. Sorry, Lucette. But as for plans, yes, I do have something in mind. You chose to stay for a reason, didn't you? Of course. He then briefly explains the rest of his plans to me. I'm surprised from what he suggests, but not so overwhelmed that I back down. I'll keep Claude occupied for the time being. And I'm going with you, Lucette. I want to help you get dressed. That won't be necessary. You'll be done a lot faster with someone helping you, I promise. Emelaigne takes my hand and drags me behind her out of the room. There, done. Emelaigne steps away from me with a smile. You look lovely, Lucette. She eyes the glass slippers on my feet. I've only worn them on rare occasions, but it's strange to be wearing them now, but Emelaigne insisted they suited the dress Claude bought me for my birthday. I still did not see why I had to come back and change. Couldn't I have just come to the ball in this dress in the first place? It wouldn't have been like Cinderella if you showed up with the prince. Like Cinderella? This is so cute. You read the fairy tale enough times to know. You surprised Claude with the ball, but Lance wanted to help you surprise him some other way. But why? You'll see. She takes my hand and pulls me back to the throne room. When we return to the throne room doors, I realize immediately that something is different. Though there are sounds behind the doors, they are more subdued. The loud music from earlier is gone. I'll go in first. Wait a few minutes after me, okay? Lance said you probably know what the signal was. Wait, what is happening? Emelaine's only response to my question is a smile. See you on the other side, Lucette. Emelaigne pushes the doors open and steps inside. For a few moments, I consider following her in, despite what she said, but then I feel a noticeable shift in the atmosphere. This, and then suddenly, I hear it. I recognize the song immediately. It's a soft and quiet, barely audible, and perhaps not suited to a midnight ball at first listen, but this song. Claude? Oh my god, this is so sweet. I have tears in my eyes right now, y'all. I make my way into the throne room. I half expect to see Claude sitting at the piano playing the song, but he's nowhere to be seen. The man at the piano is one of the court musicians. How does he know the song? I suddenly become aware of the fact that the room is quiet, save for the song, and that everyone has turned to look at me. I feel mildly uncomfortable with so many people staring at me. But this is not like 2 years ago where the people looked at me in fear. Everyone here looks awestruck, and people that I do know are smiling. I notice someone shifting through the crowd and turn to gaze as they emerge in the middle of the bottom floor where the crowd has already parted. Claude is staring at me awestruck. At that moment, I forgot about everyone else there and smile only at him. It's worth putting this on just to see that look on his face. Claude startles and smiles back at me just as brightly. He holds out his hand and I begin to walk toward him. May I have this dance, Cinderella? Cinderella? I have no idea who you're referring to. I slide my hand into his with a grin. They're so cute! Oh my gosh! It's so cute! He settles his other hand on the small of my back and pulls me closer. You're right, it's wrong for me to compare you to Cinderella. After all, she can't hold a candle for you. Oh, but I thought you were fond of calling me Ice Princess, and now here you are using fire metaphors again? I'm spontaneous, remember? I say whatever comes to my mind. He begins to dance first, and I follow into step immediately beside him. We have danced together so many times that we do not even have to think about each other's movements. It wasn't long before the area around us is crowded with other couples twirling and spinning beneath the same lights. Is this all spontaneous then? Did you learn this song from one of the musicians? No, I taught him this song. The night was supposed to go very differently before Lance meddled, you know. I was going to have someone play this song in your room, and I was going to dance with you on the balcony, and then after that I would serenade you into the night. He glances down at my dress and then at my shoes. Instead, it seems like Lance somehow managed to orchestrate my plan out here. I told him about it before, and now it's turned out that he's used the information against me. Rather than surprising me, it was I who surprised you. You think Llama's so nice, but then he goes and does things like this just to ruin my plans. Though, I do have to admit, he made this a lot more spectacular than I anticipated. What do you think of the song? He draws me closer to him after an underarm twirl. For a few moments, I remained pressed against his chest, smiling. I love it. Where did you learn it? Learn it? I composed for you, darling. And now apparently the whole kingdom will know it. I catch Lance's eyes as we are twirling. He only winks as we spin away from him. This is fine. It's a beautiful song, and I hope more people start playing it. Yes, and in your honor. He pulls me close enough to plant a quick kiss on my lips. You look radiant in that dress, Lucette. Only because it's a beautiful dress chosen by a man who happens to be a dress connoisseur. You flatter me, love. He dips me and presses his forehead to mine. It is my greatest pleasure in life to spoil you, you know. Someday our responsibilities to the kingdom will have come first. One day the king will ask me about a family, but for now, I wrap my arms around Klaude's neck and kiss him. But for now, while I can, I want to enjoy spoiling Klaude and being spoiled by him. I love you, Klaude. I love you too, my darling Lucette. The two of us continue to twirl under the chandeliers, two stars revolving around each other in a dazzling, beautiful, personal universe. And their love lasted forevermore. Oh my gosh, that's so cute! The little chameleon. Alright, well that... Oh, let's watch the ending. But this is the end of Klaude's Round. Now I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is definitely a lot shorter than the original game, but it's really cute. So yeah, I'm thinking I might do Chevalier next. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, let's enjoy this, and